So for years, Google told developers something very simple. Google API keys are not secrets. You could literally embed them in your website's public JavaScript, put them in apps, leave them in code repositories, totally fine, no big deal. Except now, it kind of is. Security researchers just found that thousands of exposed Google API keys that were never meant to be secret, can now be used to access Gemini. Yes, Gemini, and here's where it gets scary. These keys were originally used for harmless stuff, maps, Firebase, basic Google services. So they were basically project identifiers. Nobody treated them like passwords because Google explicitly said they weren't. But guess what? Once a developer enables the Gemini API inside that project, those same old keys silently gain access to the Gemini endpoints. No warning, no pop-up, it just happened. So imagine this. 3 years ago, you created a Google Maps key. You embedded it in your website source code, exactly how Google told you to. Fast forward to today, someone on your team enables Gemini for a small internal prototype. And guess what? That same public key now has access to Gemini, and if it's exposed, which thousands of them are, anyone can grab it. Attackers don't need to hack you, they just scrap the internet. The researchers scanned public websites and found 2,863 live Google API keys vulnerable to this. Financial institutions, security companies, even Google's own infrastructure. And guess what? The exploit is stupidly simple. An attacker grabs a public API key, tests if Gemini access works, and if it does, they can hit endpoints like files or cached contents, which can contain uploaded documents, datasets, cached AI context, basically anything stored through Gemini. And here's the part that people don't think about. Gemini usage is not free. If someone maxes out API calls using your key, you're paying the bill. Depending on the model and usage, that could be thousands of dollars per day, per victim. And all because of a key you thought wasn't sensitive. And Google has acknowledged the issue, but at first apparently they pushed back and said the behavior was intended. Later they classified it as a privilege escalation issue. They say they've implemented measures to detect and block leaked keys trying to access Gemini. But here's the uncomfortable part. Google's own support pages still say things like API keys for Firebase services are not secret, which was true before Gemini, but now not so much. The researchers even described the most realistic nightmare scenario. You create a Maps key years ago, you follow Google's instructions, and later Gemini gets enabled in the same project. Now your public Maps key is basically a Gemini credential, and nobody tells you. That's the problem. This isn't about someone's brute forcing passwords, it's about permission creep. A key that was harmless yesterday quietly becoming powerful today. So what should developers do? Check every Google Cloud project, see if the generative language API is enabled, audit every API key. If it's unrestricted or has Gemini access and it's exposed anywhere publicly, rotate it. Immediately, start with the oldest keys. Those are the most likely to be sitting in public code because the rule has changed. API keys used to be identifiers, now they can be access tokens. And when AI services get attached to old infrastructure without clear warnings, that's when small misconfigurations turn into very expensive mistakes.